What's up, party people? It's Keys Dan with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do you go? DJLittleRock.com. Let me say that one more time. DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote. And maybe you could have me at your next event. I like to party with the people. Let me entertain you. Make your next thing a big one. Speaking of entertaining the people, today on the program, Sabrina Fallah. Yes. Who's that? Oh, you don't know? Well, you're going to find out in the next few minutes. So stick around. This week's shows, hey, as we're breaking out of quarantine, I have one public show that I've been doing on the weekly for the past couple of months. And that's at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. The Rab. Yeah, the Rab at Conway, Arkansas. They got a full bar. The kitchen's open, pool tables. They got a pool tournament every Friday night. So if you want to make some money on a Friday night while you're waiting to sing a song with me at the Video Dance Party Karaoke Jam, you can do that at the Rab. Now, we are taking precautions. You know, it does hold quite a few people, but we're keeping it, the capacity is a little bit lower. Everybody wear a mask as you're walking in, put some hand sanitizer on. If you're interacting with people or walking around the club, we encourage you, put the mask up, put it on your face. And then when you're sitting down, having your drinky drinks and having some food, you can pull the mask down a little bit. Yeah, but when you're interacting with people, hey, put the mask up. We're keeping each other vigilant, keeping each other safe, and making sure that we don't catch this virus that has no cure as of yet. Well, I guess there might be some kind of a cure, but it's unsubstantiated as far as I'm concerned. If anybody's heard current events, there's a cure out there. Maybe. It might be a rumor. Okay. But yeah, so that starts at 8 p.m. at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas, and we go until about 1 in the a.m. So if you're anywhere in the area, come on out and play with us. Yeah, it's always a good time. It's starting to feel like old times. I mean, with the mask, I get it, but it's starting to feel like old times. We always good people at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. All right, I think that's enough intro. Let's get into it with Sabrina Fallah. Yeah, I get to Skype her. So if you're listening to the video audio only version of this, I encourage you to check out the video version. Find it on my YouTube, youtube.com/user/Keys Dan. Yeah, make it real simple, right? I wish you could just I guess if you just put Keys Dan in there, you're going to find the one that has the Radio What label. The other one I use for weddings. So there's wedding and event pictures on that one. But the one I have that says Keys Dan and has the Radio What logo sitting next to me, that's all my podcast. And now I'm doing video game streaming. How about that? So yeah, you'll find that there. Anyway, let's get into it with Sabrina Fallah. Skyping Sabrina Fallah now.
Yeah, it's okay. I do it all the time.
And you're doing just fine. I'm seeing a lot of stuff behind you. This is great. It looks like the totally 80s. This is my childhood is behind you.
It's the Green Day.
Oh, and 90s. Yeah. And 90s. Okay. All right. There's all the Green Day. Now I'm seeing it because that looked a little bit like Billy Idol on first glance, but it's not. It's not. It's definitely not.
I don't have his poster yet, but I don't even think he has a poster, does he?
What, Billy Idol?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, 1985 was his year. He was on the cover of the Rolling Stone back then.
No, but I mean, like I haven't seen it. If I see it, I'll get it.
Oh, I know I had one growing up for sure. All right, so I guess now that I have you here, finally in my presence, kind of, so to speak, tell the people a little bit about who you are.
Well, I'm Sabrina Fallah. I'm from Ottawa, Ontario. Well, yeah, I am from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. I'm a rock singer, songwriter, guitarist. I love to perform. It's hard to get me off the stage once I'm on it. And I'm being played on mainstream radio now.
I like that.
Yeah.
Is, man, that's like a goal of an independent artist. You figure all the people that have a backing of these big record labels. That's their job, is to get you played on mainstream radio, to try to steer you in that direction. The only downside of that is that they will steer you in that direction. They will water down your lyrics and your music and conform you to something that's more palatable to more people, quote unquote, around the world.
Yeah.
They want to make you into something that could be packaged and sold, and that's something that an independent artist does not want, generally speaking. But I'm putting words in your mouth.
I am signed to a label.
What?
But independent label, distributed with the Orchard, with Sony. But yes, I do agree. If you get a major deal, but I think you have to be a very young, because I don't think at my age they're going to sign me and package me up. I'm already packaged. I'm already who I am. I'm already on the radio. They can't say I'm changing you now.
Right. You've been doing this
They
long
have to
enough.
take me. That's the thing. I wanted to get to a point where they couldn't do that, because I would never let anybody change me. I've had producers try to make me pop, and I'm like, you know what? I don't care if I sound good in pop. I want to be rock. I want to do what I feel like I want to do. Yeah. So
Well, yeah, you do have a sound that's all your own.
I want attitude when I'm singing, I don't want to sound so soft.
Absolutely, Sabrina. I mean, and you've been doing this long enough. I'm guessing you're some kind of a seasoned performer. You've been. I haven't read your bio, so I need you to tell your bio. How long have you been doing this? What got you interested in music? What were the seeds that made a Sabrina Fallah?
Well, I think I was born right into it, because as soon as I was born, as a baby I would hum tunes, and then in school I would write short poetry and short stories and poetry, and then I learned the piano, the guitar. I just eased right into it. I Nobody put it in front of me. I think I was born to be in music.
No inspiration from mom, dad, sisters, brothers, cousins, anybody else in the business? What? You're the only one? The black sheep of the family, so to speak?
I'm the only one, yeah.
And what's the family up to? I mean, mom and dad, what kind of work did they do? What kind of inspiration did they give you? What life lessons?
My dad is an accountant.
Okay.
And my mom worked for the government.
CIA spy? No, I guess it's Canadian. So yeah, that's the first thing you think of, especially when you're a kid growing up, and the kid in school next to you says, "Yeah, my dad works for the government. My mom works for the government." Ooh, a spy? That's the first thing. I know there's so many jobs that you could do. You could be anything from street sweeper to
it's importing and exporting goods kind of thing.
Okay. That's almost like a spy. No, I'm kidding.
But that's as much as I know. But no, there's no spies here.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's what a spy would say. That's exactly what a spy would say. No, Sabrina, I know I'm having fun with you.
You really, really want me to say, fine, they're a spy.
There. That's what I wanted the whole time.
If that's what you want to hear, there you go.
So, born and raised in Ottawa, Canada, somewhere in that area?
Yes.
Lived your whole life?
Here. I've been here my entire life.
What's the scene like?
Pure Canadian.
Pure Canadian. Just pour it out. Open that can. Freshness. Canada.
Oh yeah.
Oh, good. Canada.
Canadian are good. Yeah.
Through and through.
Beer is good.
Yeah, we got a lot of Canadians that travel across the border and do great jobs here in the United States, especially in theater. I mean, some of my favorite actors are Canadians. I'm thinking of Bill Shatner right now, and I'm thinking of Rick Moranis. I'm thinking of some of the greats. And so tell me the greatest rock inspirations that came out of Canada, or any rock inspirations for you, Sabrina.
Rock inspirations.
Any inspirations musically?
A lot of U.S. bands, but I grew up listening to Avril and Simple Plan.
Okay. Avril Lavigne for sure. You don't have to make things so complicated. And were you a skater? Did you go out with skaters, or did you shun the skaters?
I could snowboard, but I could never skateboard. For some reason, I could never skateboard.
Okay. All right, all right. And then Simple Plan, what was their big hit? Oh my goodness, it just eludes me now.
Welcome to my life.
That's the one. That's the one.
Or I'm just a kid and life is a night. Or addicted. Or
Yep. I'm addicted.
I
Yeah,
do anything. God, the list can go on.
for sure. So you're a child of the 90s.
Pretty much all their songs are hits because they're so good at writing that their songs are hits.
What year did you graduate high school?
2009, I think.
Okay, so 2009. I would have expected you were a child of the 90s, having Green Day behind you on the posters. If you're just listening to the
Yes.
audio version of this,
I got into their American Idiot album that came out in 2004 is the one that got me into the rock.
Okay.
So I got Green Day's older, but I heard about them and I'm like, yeah.
Well, American Idiot really made them hit it big. I mean, because before that they were
American Idiot really did it for them.
Yeah, they were a 3-chord band, a regular punk band, just trying to get their groove going. But American Idiot had, I mean, just hits that could be turned. They kept their roots for sure. I mean, you know what? There was there was something years ago when I first got here to Arkansas. There's a place called Juanita's, and that's kind of our CBGBs here in Central Arkansas. Kind of like, same kind of thing where bands would come in from all over the world and they would come and play, and sometimes they would be anonymous. They'd come and play these little gigs, for 50 people, 100 people, nothing major. But I never got to see them, but the rumor the next day was, hey, I think Green Day was at Juanita's last night, and they did a great they made a great show, and this is like in 2008. And, so they were already huge. But like you said, 2004 was the big.
Green Day still do the small clubs around.
Wow.
They still go and they still do it.
Because the performer's got to perform. I mean, okay, being the performer that you are, you said you don't want to.
I also want to be up close to the public as well. Like, it's nice when they go and do little shows, and I don't even think they even charge it sometimes. Sometimes they just say, just come and hear us.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. Because Juanita's is kind of a bar restaurant type thing. It's nothing. It's not a huge club, but it's gotten a reputation to where bands would just come in, sneak in, do a show, and then sneak on out, and you would never know that they were coming.
That's how it should be.
Oh my goodness! But you all right, to make some money, you got to tell people months in advance that to come to this big show. But then those little intimate shows, those could be fun too. Now, Sabrina, you said you play, and sometimes they try to take you off the stage. You'll start singing and get into the groove. Has anybody ever tried to get that hook and try to get that hook off the stage? Get off! Come on, it's time to go.
Well, the thing was, I was performing at the Ottawa Tulip Festival, and normally when you have encores, they let you do the encores. But I didn't know that day I had a set that I had to be off at a certain time, because normally they tell me. They didn't tell me. So when the people were saying encore, 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 I was doing encores and encores and encores, and then I got yelled at. Sabrina, get off. I'm like, but there's an encore. Get off. I'm like, and then I literally told the guy, I'm so sorry, but I'm told to get off. He's like, who cares? I'm like, trust me, I have to get off. It's not my stage right now, because it's not my stage. It's just a sharing stage with artists. I couldn't be like telling them, so.
Oh, when you're on that stage, it's your stage, Sabrina. No, I leave it to the fault of the stage manager.
I mean, like, if somebody else has to come up next, I have to respect that.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. I
was getting so many encores.
Well, that's got to feel good. My goodness. I mean,
know, but I've never been told to get off the stage right after I get so many encores. I'm like, I'm sorry, they want more.
But was that the first time that you played in a festival? And what year was that?
No. Oh, God. Around 2013, around that time.
Somewhere in there.
I have been at that festival a few times, but that was the day where I got so many encores, and I'm like, now I'm being pulled up. She literally came up to me and put like her hand on the mic and said, get off. I'm like, all right, guys, see you later.
That's hilarious. And that's a
She
story
was
that you,
laughing too
yeah,
because but then she's like, I'm serious. Like, we have to get the next performer. I'm like, I'm sorry.
that's a story that you
And
have
that's
forever
why I
and
got
ever
to
to
get me
tell. That's beautiful.
off. I just can't wait when I have like 2 hours, 3 hours of a stage where I don't have to hear anything. I can just do whatever I want, when I want, just enjoy it, you know?
Well, that's very telling of who you are, because some performers would get up there, do their 45-minute set, and get off, go get their paycheck, and then go have some beers. But some performers, like yourself, what you just alluded to, you'll want to stay on stage for hours and hours. I'm with you on that. But when I have never gotten the ability to play an instrument or sing a song well enough to consider myself a live performer. But being the DJ,
Okay.
I get to play your music, and I will
Yeah,
play your
yes.
music this weekend at the Rab. I'll play your music, and people will ask me, "Hey, who is that singing? Who's that on the video?" Because what I'll do is I'll play one of your videos, and then people will go, "Who is that on the video?" And I'll tell them that's Sabrina Fallah. You need to find out more about that. You need to find out more about her. Yeah, follow her on social media and all that. So, I like doing that. I like breaking out new artist. And you're not a new artist. You've been doing it at least since 2009, what you've been alluding to. And 2013, you were at that festival. When did you start playing the music? I mean, because all right, when you first
Well,
started telling the story,
2009
yeah,
is
when you first
when
started telling the story, you said you were a baby that learned how to write poetry and play piano. But I'm sure you weren't a
yeah,
baby that whole time.
no,
When did it
what
all
I
start?
meant was
Yeah, I know.
when I was
Growing
in
up.
school, I liked to, when I was younger,
Mhm.
I loved to write. I wanted to write a book. I wanted to write little short stories. I just like to make up stories. And then I said, if I can write poetry and short stories, I'm sure I can write a song. But the first song I ever wrote didn't have any music behind it. It was just lyrics.
Okay. Like,
And then I made the music up in my mind, in my
oh,
head.
okay. I wonder.
Because
Yeah. How
because
did you
at that
know?
age I couldn't play an instrument yet.
How did you know
I
it was
was
a
very
song rather than a poem? How did you know it was a song if you didn't have any music to it?
because I was singing it.
Now, is this something that eventually got recorded, or is this something that
No,
you
I don't even know
sent it
where
off?
that song is right now. It's somewhere in my pile of lyrics. It's the first song I ever wrote. It was called Crush. And it was about a guy I liked down my street. He isn't here anymore. He's gone. But when you're young, you're just writing about how you feel. And yeah, it's probably just so childish. That's I don't even remember what I wrote.
Well, that's just it. You write about the experiences you have, and when you're a young girl living in Ottawa, Canada, what can you write about? Besides your mommy and daddy, and hey, that cute boy down the street. That's the what you write about. The things you know in school, math. How old were you then? Was that you said 13 or so?
When I wrote that song, I was maybe oof, grade
Grade
grade nine
grade nine,
maybe,
so
or
13,
younger,
14, 15, somewhere in there.
grade 8. Yeah.
Just coming into your own, because by that time, girls can get boy crazy, and boys can get
Oh
girl
my
crazy for
gosh, I
sure.
don't even know how many guys I like per day. When you're young, everybody's cute to you. Oh, he's cute. He's cute. He's cute. He's cute.
Well, were you into the
Now, now,
magazines as
now
well?
it's so different. Now it's like, okay, I'm just living my life, you know. Like,
Oh, well, I hope not. I hope still, that people are still attracted to each other, and love is a thing. I noticed that your last one of your last posts on your social media was Topanga and oh my goodness,
oh yeah, I grew up with Boy
Corey and
Meets
Topanga.
World. It's
Oh yeah.
it's my favorite show in the world. And I just thought those two characters were just so in love. And if that ever was real in real life, it would be romantic. But Boy Meets World is just, it's about what you go through in life, but it's not every day you will find somebody like Corey and Topanga together from childhood till they grew up. And they broke up a lot. but they were meant to be in the end. So beautiful. Love that show.
Yeah,
I had to share it because it's so cute.
Oh, for sure. I haven't heard that story, that kind of a love story since, my grandparents. These are the people. It seems like these days you fall in love with your high school girlfriend or your high school boyfriend. It doesn't last as long as
No.
it was. There's not that hey, we grew up together, we will die together. And that story of Corey and Topanga, even though it's fictional, I would hope that there's still that kind of love out there in the
I'm
world.
sure there are, but it's not every day you're gonna find that. But
Rare.
that story is just so beautiful.
See, and that could be an inspiration for a song. The thing about you, as opposed to me, is that whatever experiences you have, whatever things they can inspire you to make music, and then that inspires other people. That's a superpower that you have, Sabrina, that I just don't have, and I'm so happy that you have it. And I'm happy that I know you and I get to listen to the stuff that you put down. And I know you live in the rock genre primarily. You're a rock star, just wailing, but but some of the stuff is a little ballady. But I mean, what?
Yes, hurt.
Yeah, I mean, where do you feel that you live musically, or do you not put yourself in any category?
I think I am a rock artist at heart, but I'm open to sing any style because I did do a Broadway, a community Broadway show, which I was the lead of Hairspray, the one with the
What?
big hair.
Yes.
Yeah, I used to. Yeah. So I can sing Broadway and I can sing country and I can sing different styles, but I like to focus for my music rock. But you never know down the road what I do because as an artist, I will grow and whatever I feel like doing next, I'm gonna do. So,
Are you open to saying yes to things? When was this? When was Hairspray? That's fantastic. I would not have even guessed that you were Broadway.
I was young.
Okay.
I can't remember. It was in my teens.
In
In my
school.
teens, in school time.
School
Yeah.
play. Okay. And was this the first time that you're performing in front of a lot of people, or had you performed in front of people before that?
I have performed in front of people before that, but it was my first time singing Broadway in front of people.
Okay, so let's go back to the seeds of Sabrina Fallah. Where was the first time that you performed in front of people? You learned how to play piano as a child, or in school, but when did you feel that you were good enough or proficient enough that you said, "Hey, let me go play in front of some people"? Was it a talent show? Was it a bar?
I won my first competition when I was 14, singing One Day by Simple Plan, and I'm still happy I won it because if I didn't go on that stage, I wouldn't be where I am now. I had to face that fear. And thank you, Simple Plan, for helping me because that song made me win.
So that was a turning point in your life at 14 years old,
Yes.
getting up on that stage, winning a talent competition.
I was very nervous too, and I was told if you don't go on that stage, you're not going to go back on it ever.
Who told you that?
And my parents.
Wow, that is good. See, kids, parents, tell your
true,
kids.
Though.
Yes,
it's
inspire
true,
your kids.
Because if you don't face your fears, slowly, of course, you won't go forward easily. You're gonna still have your troubles. But because I face every step that I'm trying to do in my career to face the fears of them, I keep going forward. It's okay to be scared, but you just have to move forward to move forward.
So, who's you had this talent show, and who was the first person that told you, "Hey, you should try out this talent show"? What were you doing previous to that? Were you singing to your parents or your family, your friends?
I was singing to my parents. Very nerve wracking, but I would be singing to my parents. I was actually in a vocal school, and they had a contest, and I signed up for it. And actually, my parents didn't know I did. Somehow they found out. And then I got so nervous. I actually cried for an hour before going on stage. And I remember telling my dad, I quit. I'm not doing this anymore. And then my dad's like, you're not quitting, you're going up. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's just because I was so scared of thinking that, but oh my God. But I remember it because I said it,
Oh,
At
yeah.
I can still remember things from way back. So
Okay. All right. Well, what was your first memory? The first memory that you can think of right now?
uh, I was probably 5 or 6 at my babysitter's, Paulette. That's all I can remember.
That's good. And that's a memory,
That's probably as far. Yeah, she was babysitting me a lot when I was younger, and I remember that. But the thing is, I can't go any further
See, I wonder
than that.
about people's memories. I have my first memory was at 3.5 because I remember my brother when he was born. He's 3.5 years younger than me, and I remember him coming out of the hospital in my mom's arms. So you wonder, somewhere around 3, 4,
Oh,
5. These are the first memories of your life, and you remember being babysat.
oh,
I mean, was it, do
yeah.
you remember that as a good
I'm
experience?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm sure if I think more, I'll remember more. But that's the first thing that came to mind.
Right.
But yeah,
See, that's beautiful. See, and you have that. You keep that forever. Has that ever inspired you? That first memory? I mean, it might inspire you now. You might write a song about your babysitter, or even just a
I
line.
actually
Yeah.
met her a few years ago,
Huh.
and I'm like, Paulette? She's like, Sabrina. I'm like, I know, I'm older. She remembered me. I'm like, oh my God, I feel old.
Oh no.
No, because I grew up from the last time she saw me as a baby.
Yeah.
Now I'm older. It's like so much different. But she recognized me.
Well, I mean, the people that make me feel a little bit older are the people like you that graduated in 2009. I graduated in 1986. Okay,
Oh
I start to
wow.
feel a little bit older, but hey, with age comes wisdom. Then you can start to help people up along the way, teach people things, and that's my lease in life is to promote other people and bring them up and make sure that the whole world gets a hug and gets their fair share. And Sabrina Fallah,
Yeah.
you're getting your fair share right here, but you've already had some success with your songs, and how could you not? Because I mean, just how man, the putting together of music, it's so amazing to me. There has to be a team. It can't be all just one person. Do you write all of the songs that are on your YouTube?
I write and I also co-write.
Okay.
Sometimes I bring forward the songs I have already written to improve upon it,
Mm.
or sometimes I go in and say I have a song idea, let's work on it. Or sometimes they say I have a song idea, do you want to work on it? And then I try to make sure it's something I can relate to, because I want to sing something that I can really think that, okay, I have gone through it or somebody else has gone through it. If I don't feel like I've gone through it, I can't really sing it. And I also have to I agree with the song too. Like if I don't agree with what the song's about, I'm not going to sing it either.
Well, that's where the acting comes in, Sabrina. You can
No,
you
but
can pretend.
I
You
am
can
picky.
Yeah, but your empathy. You can feel. Oh, I see where this song is coming from. If that happened to me, I could feel that way, and then you could sing that song and put the
Hmm.
right effort
But I
into it.
haven't had that happen yet.
So
But I'm
people have
just
brought you
saying,
songs, and
yeah.
none of it. No, this is no good. No, not for me. Nope. So nobody has ever bought you a song that you said, "Yeah, I see where you're coming from."
Well, my song Everything was written by Chris Burkett, who produced it, and his daughter also co-wrote it, and he gave it to me because he thought I could sing it. But I sang it because I could relate to it as a teenager going through all those peer pressure and teenage anxiety. Of course, I'm going to sing that song
So what kind of a
because
teenager were you? You played piano. How did the kids treat you playing piano? What other extracurricular activities were you doing as a young Sabrina Fallah?
honestly, every day after school, I would go downstairs in my basement, sing for 6 hours, and then watch TV,
By
Boy
yourself?
Meets World, and then go to bed. Yeah.
All
I
by
never
yourself? No
really
friends?
went out. I was always writing or practicing music.
No
I
friends?
I I, I had friends, but I sacrificed a lot. I had to give up a lot of things to get to where I am right now.
Man, so you already knew
And
by that time.
honestly,
Yeah.
I'm glad I did,
Yeah.
because it takes a lot of work to get to where you want to be. And sometimes you just have to say, I'm not going to go out tonight. I'm just going to keep writing and get this song done, you know?
So the
You just have
relationship
to
you
do what
had,
you have to do.
the relationship you had with Corey and Topanga was not the relationship that you were having in real life. The relationship you had
No,
was with
I
music.
actually never had a Corey.
Okay.
Actually, if I actually met a Corey, I would have kept him.
Okay. All right. You had the cute
You
boy
know
next door
what
that you wrote the little song about. Hey, but then he moved away. Hey, boo, gone. I get it.
Well,
Okay.
he actually got married, so he had a girlfriend. I'm sure he's married now. Because
Well,
he
good for
was a
him.
bit older than me,
Okay.
a few years. Yeah, I I liked a little older, a guy who was a bit older than me.
Well, I tell all the
So,
kids whenever I'm doing Sweet 16 parties or anything, I say,
oh, sweet
okay,
16.
stay away from the boys. All right, you can get married when you're 30. Stay in school. Try to be the responsible dad. But I know that every once in a while there's going to be that love story, and that's going to inspire people. It's inspired you to write music and to sing, and to when you were singing songs by yourself in the basement, by yourself. No, in the basement. What kind of songs were you singing? Was it all rock songs? Was it all
Well, when I
alternative?
first started singing,
Mhm.
before I found my rock sound, I was singing a lot of Michelle Branch, Avril Lavigne, Simple Plan, Evanescence,
Yeah.
those kind of bands. And then when Green Day came in, I started singing Bon Jovi, Billy Idol. Yeah,
Now, do you
but
feel like did you get any special training singing, or was this all self?
yes,
Oh, okay. So you did have
I
a
had
teacher.
to get training because I didn't have any. So I had to make sure I didn't hurt myself.
Yeah.
And I got vocal training for rock.
From who?
How?
Give credit where credit
Um,
is due.
well, Elaine Overholt in Toronto has worked with a lot of famous um, uh, uh, artists. To name one that I can just think is Shawn Mendes.
Hey, all right.
So she worked with them and other ones, but I just can't quite remember. But she's very good. I worked with her. She fixed everything to make sure nothing was hurt. Actually, when I first saw her,
Mhm.
she's like, I'm surprised you didn't damage your voice because you had no vocal training, because I knew I had to sing from the diaphragm.
I find
I just knew that already.
I don't even know what that means. Singing from a diaphragm.
You use your stomach to push in to get the voice out. You don't sing from your throat.
Wow. And so
Because
you
if you
were
sing from your throat, you're going to choke and have a lot of sore throat, and then you're going to get nodes in your voice and vocals, and then you won't be able to talk or sing ever again.
wow. So that's what I
Well,
was. Yeah.
Adele had it because
Yeah.
she was over singing. But she
Oh.
was lucky when she got the surgery, she was able to sing again. Rod Stewart had the same thing, but he had to start all over again from the beginning to learn how to sing again. You just have to be very careful, but it happens.
Yeah, there's
It
singers. I
happens.
guess Axl Rose and maybe even Steve Perry kind of were the worse for wear when they lost their voices. Is that? I mean, that might be all fuzzy history for me, but I know that there has to have been some singers that have.
You just have to know
Yeah.
how hard to push the voice, because when your vocals are warmed up very well, it should be no effort to get the voice out. It should be so easy, like a breath, just to slowly come out. If you're pushing hard, even a rasp
Yeah.
should be natural, should not be placed. It should come out whenever it wants to come out, so there's no strain in the voice.
So just speaking like we are right now, that should be the same
Yeah,
as singing.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
incredible.
Actually, talking and speaking is the same place where you're singing. That's why they say, if you have a show, don't talk. save it for the show.
I get it.
But of course, as an artist, you do interviews and recording and performing, and you're always talking, but they just say rest it in between.
Yeah, you don't have a show tonight, right?
No,
Oh,
it's
okay.
a pandemic.
Oh, yeah. I guess we'll get to current events later.
Actually, speaking about shows,
Go ahead.
I do virtual shows. So when a radio station or someone is doing a concert online and they want to bring other artists in, I pre-record a performance and send it to them. So I've been doing that for a few months now because I really want to go out, but this is how everybody's doing it right now online.
Yeah, a performer's got to perform. One of the latest things that I've had over the past month or two was Facebook takeovers. I give an artist my editor rights for for my Radio What Facebook page, and they get a guitar or a piano or a backing vocal and sing away, put themselves out there.
I've seen some stations doing that. Even the big mainstream ones are doing that too.
I like it. It keeps you in the know. I mean, if we don't tell people that we're still doing it, they're going to forget about us. And that's the thing when
that's very true.
Oh my goodness, I have to keep on posting. I have to keep on telling people, yeah, I'm still doing the job. I'm still out there. Don't forget that I still do this. And I'm sure Sabrina, you posting and putting yourself out there and putting your self out on your YouTube and your Facebook and your Twitter.
Oh, I keep my pages so updated that I never miss anything. If something new comes up, I post it immediately. If something happens that I have to update my bio, I do it immediately.
But you have to do that yourself.
Everything has to be updated.
You're doing that yourself.
Oh, yeah.
See, that's just it. It used to be there was a team. When I first started, all I had to have was my 2 turntables and a microphone. Now I have to have my lights and I have to design the poster, and I have to, make sure that the flyers get put out, and I have to make sure, it used to be just that one job.
I get help from my family. Like I write the bio, and then of course I get my mom to look at it as a second eye, to read it, to make sure it flows. I get help, but yeah, I'm doing all the work myself.
Yeah, that's your government working mom.
From the beginning.
Your government working mom. Yeah.
The spy.
Yeah. No. Well, and then hey, having an accountant as a dad, that had to be amazing. Keeping your books in financial order. Sometimes creators get ripped off.
I'm learning a lot, but I don't want to be an accountant. Even though my dad's like, "Are you sure you don't want to take it up after me?" No, I'm not going back to school. I'm not reading 20 books on accounting. The funny thing is, I took one accounting course in high school, and I pretty much almost failed it by like a smidge. My teacher passed me just because she knew I tried hard. Mm-hmm. And then my dad saw the book that I had to do in school, and then he's like, "What the hell are they teaching you? That is not the way accounting," because it was so like too much. Like it's hard. He just said, if I just tell you what to do, it's easier than taking the course. Like it was too much like work and like so many things I had to learn. And my dad said, half of this you don't even need to know. It was too much in it.
I think every generation has a problem with new math.
I sometimes help my dad with some data entry and stuff, just to enter stuff. And you know what? I learned everything from high school by doing it than taking the course in high school. It's exactly what I was learning, but I learned it because I am a visual learner. I need to do it, have it in front of me. Yeah. Just telling me to read something and say, what's the definition of this? I hated practicing, and I hated history and memorizing dates and
because you were interested in that stuff. You were interested in music. You were interested in maybe the theater a little bit because you did that one show,
Yes, I also took some acting classes when I was very young, like probably 9, 10.
Wow.
But I said, you know what? I don't want to do this. I'm too
Was
nervous.
that
I
extracurricular?
can't act on the spot, huh?
Was that in addition to school, or was that in school that you had acting classes?
Outside of school. I was just trying to do activities, and then I said, you know what? After that, I tried singing, and then I had to go to different teachers, and then actually my grandma is the one that saw Elaine on the TV and said, why don't you contact her? And then Elaine's like, okay, come and see me. And then I saw her, and then she's like, okay,
yay, grandma.
I'll work with you.
See, it sounds like you had a very good.
But she's a very, you got to do the work. You got to do the work. If you don't do the work, you won't get anywhere. And you know what? I like it when people are a bit pushy because it actually makes you work harder. If the person is easy, it's like, what? Like, I like being busy. I don't like being stressed, but I don't mind having a little bit of pressure to push me a bit forward, you know?
Yeah. I mean, Sabrina,
I just love it when I have a lot of work to do because it keeps me motivated. It keeps me going.
No, it sounds like you had a good childhood with people that were pushing you in the right direction. But now you've given people nuggets of information. If you want to be a rock star, some people say, "Oh, I want to be a rock star. I want to be an actress." Well, you got to work. You got to get.
You gotta go and do it now.
Yeah, you got to get to work.
Don't like my parents would say to me as when I was a kid. You can't just sit in your room and hope somebody knocks on your door. You have to go and knock on their door.
Because that's what they have the doors. They have the doors with the signs up that says, "Hey, come knock here if you're interested in this kind of work." And you did. You did. You knocked on Elaine's door, and she taught you, how to keep your voice in check.
She taught me so much.
Good.
Like,
so when you first went in there, she was worried about you. Wow, what are you doing? But she did actually teach you something.
Because she knew I was singing so much without vocal training. At that time, I didn't even know there was such thing as vocal training. I thought I just got up and sang, you know? But now it's like I have to do vocal training. I have to write. I have to learn a guitar. I have to perform. I have to do work.
Okay.
But music is my passion.
Yes.
I don't consider it as a job. I consider it as something I enjoy to wake up to every morning.
When you're singing,
I love what I do.
When you're singing,
it's not like somebody has to tell me to do it. I'm going to do it, you know?
Now, when you're singing in your basement at 14 years old, are you accompanying yourself, or do you have a guitar, a piano, a harmonica, anything?
I got my first guitar at 15, 16. So
who gave you
that?
At
that time, I didn't have it yet.
Who gave you that?
One of my mom's friends told me, if you want to go out and perform, you can't carry the piano around, learn the guitar. I borrowed the guitar for less than a week and bought it and got a guitar. And ever since then, I couldn't put it down.
See, that's another turning point. Your mom's friend.
The guitar was more me than the piano.
Yeah, your mom's friend changed the course of your life. These are little people. These are little, dots that you can connect. And I like to connect them when I'm doing these podcasts. We have a little time to talk about where things started, with the, 14 on that stage the first time, 15, your mom's friend gives you a guitar. Here, check this out. Try it. Now, who gave you some guitar lessons, or did you teach yourself?
The thing is, I within a year, I took a couple, but I didn't really learn. I mostly taught myself because I played by ear too. It's so easy. You just go online, see guitar chords. It's there. I learned it very fast.
Well, with the piano, you were able to read music, or this is all by ear as well?
My piano teacher would say, "Stop playing by ear. Read the notes, Sabrina."
Okay.
But it's funny because I would be playing it by ear.
And she could tell.
I knew the song, yeah.
And she could tell because you weren't turning the pages or looking up and down the line. Oh yeah. Oh, but teachers know.
But I can read the the chords. But it's funny that I haven't played piano in a long time because I got carpal tunnel.
Oh.
But yeah, from playing piano. But yeah, I didn't even know there were exercises you could do to stretch your fingers so they don't hurt. But I learned that late.
See, I didn't
Anyway,
know that. I
but
didn't
I
know that till
used to
just
be
now.
able to go on the piano and just play a song, but maybe I still can. I just haven't played it in a while. Yeah, I was stretching from one note to the other when I should have jumped and not stretched the fingers, and that's how I got it.
So
I
what
hurt myself.
exercises can you do to help your fingers, or do you do exercises now that you have this?
You take a soft ball and you squish it, and that's what I do now before I play a guitar. I do that to stretch because I didn't know you can hurt your fingers from playing so much.
Well, now, yeah, I wondered how that affected your guitar playing, carpal tunnel.
I for 3 months I couldn't play guitar.
Oh, how
I was so mad. I'm like, you know what? No more piano. I also had a job at some point too that I pulled my ligament in my neck, and then I told my parents, I'm sorry, I'm not going to work anymore either. That caused me even longer of no guitar playing. And things started affecting my music. And then my parents said, you know what? Focus on your music. We're not going to force you to get a job. I'm very lucky to be where I am now, that I'm actually doing this full time now. I'm doing music full time. But my family has been supportive my entire life. So they never they wanted me to get a job because I was very shy, and they wanted me to overcome the looking at the person and talking to someone. But as soon as I started getting injured, they said, no more. You have to start. I was performing every night after my job. The injury affected that.
Wow. Every night.
Yeah.
So you were gigging quite steadily.
I even had days when I had to call and tell my boss, I have to go to Toronto. I can't work today.
Oh, okay. All right. So
they were very supportive of me and my music, so they were open to that. But as soon as work started affecting me with injuries, we are still friends, but they understood that I can't work somewhere. Yeah, I wasn't. Let's just say the people at work were not very nice to me that day and making me do things I wasn't supposed to, and that caused the injury. But I let go. I forget. I'm not angry, but as soon as it affects my music, I'm gone.
Well, you can't be angry at them. You weren't doing the job exactly the way you should have. That wasn't where your mind was at the time, or even ever. You were wanting to do music, and if I was wanting to go
work anywhere, I just wanted to do music.
If I was wanting to go DJ and I had a regular Joe job and I couldn't be at that Joe job, and the guy says, "Hey, you're fired," and I go, "That's fair." I understand. I'm not doing the job that the way you wanted me, but you've took a gamble on yourself. You left all that possible career, those Joe jobs behind. You took a gamble on yourself and you said, "I'm going to do music full time," and it's worked out.
I took a big step in saying I told my parents, I'm gonna succeed. Just let me do it my way. Yeah. And I'm glad they did. They didn't interfere and say, get a job, get this. I know some parents do that, but they also wanted me to succeed too.
So what's the backup plan? I mean, what were they trying to get you into? Or if you didn't have music, what would you be doing?
I would be a detective.
Oh, see, there is another little idea. What kind of detective work did you want to do?
I would still love to do it behind the scenes. I love watching those cop shows when they find the murder and then they show the evidence, and then I'm trying to figure it out while they're figuring it out, and I'm like, yeah, I was right. Yeah.
Do you get it like in the in the first 15 minutes, that they meet that janitor and then the janitor just leaves. You go, hey, I think it was that janitor they met in the first 15 minutes of the show.
They trick you, but I watch on YouTube the ones when it says, if you can't handle this kind of stuff, don't watch it. Because it's very, very, like they show a lot of things that some people might not handle, but I love it.
Oh my goodness.
Love it. But I don't know what I see things like if I see a cop car and an ambulance out in front of somebody's home, I'm always like, I wonder what happened in that house.
Do you pull out your magnifying glass?
Investigating.
Your magnifying glass, your Sherlock Holmes hat, and you.
I love Sherlock Holmes.
Of course you do. My goodness, why wouldn't you? I mean, yeah, and Benedict Cumberbatch for sure.
I always wanted to be a detective, but I would have to go in school again to do that. But that's just on my side time. When I'm at home, I watch these kind of things and I try to do it my way. But I know if I got into that field, it'll be harder than I think, because they go through so many stages until they have so much evidence to prove. You can't just have one thing and then prove it's that person. There's so many other things you need to match the evidence. It's crazy, but it's so interesting.
Oh, that work is very responsible. My goodness. What if you get the wrong person convicted? What if they go to jail for a long time? What if they die?
They have.
What if they become? Oh my goodness!
Oh, yeah.
How bad do you feel?
They kill the wrong person in the. Oh yeah, I'm sure they have done that too.
I would quit that day. There's no way I would quit that day. There was. I can't believe I'm a murderer. I did it.
Yeah.
I got that guy convicted, and it was my fault. I give it up to those people. And hey, if it's a job that you ever do, I give it up to you as well.
And they're just human like us. They are doing their very best to find, and sometimes they never even find the killer or why the person died. Like I was watching one on TV where they found the kid, and they were still trying to find the body parts to put together, and they still could not figure out. And I forgot what it is that they found eventually that got them to realize it was the girl, but it wasn't the body parts. It was something else completely.
So that was totally threw you on the wrong direction.
That completely threw me because I didn't think of that. Yeah.
Amazing. What's your favorite cop detective show that you think is most accurate? I mean, have you ever talked to a detective and they said, "Oh, that show, that's pretty much on the nose. That's got it."
I don't know. I just watch whatever's on, really.
You don't have a favorite?
Actually, Crime Beat. It's a Canadian.
Yeah, never heard of it.
Yeah, it's a Canadian. They talk about the Canadian murders. And I also like watching stuff about the psychopaths that kill. But the interesting thing about that is they had a rough childhood that led them to that. Either their family, his parents or her parents, were so bad to each other, like made him sick into becoming like that. Most of these people don't wake up into that. It's the people they were around. So it's sad, but they shouldn't be doing that in the first place anyway.
Oh, you're an empathic person. You see what it is on the other side. If somebody's mad one day, you'll go, "Huh, I wonder why they're mad." It couldn't be something that I did. Well, let me find out what's in their shoes. That's very telling of you as well. And yes, people like to watch these gory shows, and I partake. I watch cop shows. I watch detective shows.
I'm a big horror
films fan. For sure. That goes together with rock music.
That's why I can watch these things, because of the horror movies as well.
It desensitizes you. But, when I get entertained by that, I'm not going to go off and do that kind of a thing.
That's the thing. And that's why a lot of people say don't let your kids watch certain shows or play certain games because they think it's fake. And they might go do it for the fun. And a lot of kids have killed kids just by pretending, and it's actually real.
So I could see that. I could see that side of it where
I have
a
heard
younger
a lot
person.
of stories, and it was a complete like accident. They didn't even know it was going to happen. They said, "Oh, Mom, I thought it was fake." No, you're holding a knife. It's real.
So you're talking about this police beats or Canadian thing. It makes me think of Mounties and Moose. Every time I think of Canada, it's hockey and that kind of a thing.
Hockey.
I mean, what's the big things for you for fun for besides getting up on stage and rocking the house? I mean, but what's the fun times in Sabrina Fallah's life?
Oh, okay. I like feeding squirrels. If you follow me online,
that's
you
the
see that
sound
I
bite
have
for
a
this
lot
whole
of
podcast.
squirrels.
No, that is the sound bite for this whole podcast. If I took any clip out of this, it's you saying, I like feeding squirrels. That's fantastic. All right, continue with the squirrel feeding.
So, about 4 years or so ago, I started putting bread out thinking, who am I going to attract? And then one squirrel came, two squirrels came, and then a lot of squirrels came, birds came, raccoons came, bunnies came, everything came, cats came, the whole jungle came. So now, then a year after that, a black squirrel named Blackie came up to me and followed me. That's the only squirrel that actually started following me and took it from my hand. I'm like, this squirrel is not like tame. Like this squirrel is completely wild and just became a friend. And then the year after that, a gray squirrel came. I called him Grayster. The first day I met him, he jumped on me. I'm like, you're tamed. Somebody raised you.
Okay.
Because you are climbing on me, sitting on me, very, very, very comfortable. But I was always worried because people can be mean to the squirrels and animals. But story short, 10, 15 squirrels in my yard. I've named them all. They're all cute and they all follow me. Every morning they're sitting in front of my door. Where are my peanuts? But the best thing about it is they haven't destroyed the yard or tried to come into my house. I don't know if I trained them or they're just really nice squirrels, because I've heard stories and my squirrels have not done anything to destroy. Like I have gone on trips, gone for weeks, and they didn't. I came home and nothing was broken into. They didn't try to get into the house for food. So many other people feed them too. So I'm not the only one.
Sabrina Fallah, I'm waiting for the song next year. It's going to be called Gray Squirrel and Blackie. We're my best friends.
I actually want to write a song about squirrels and talk about how much they entertain, like some of the funny things they do. Oh my God. If you go on Facebook, you can see plenty of my videos and Instagram and Twitter. Oh my God.
Oh yes, everybody's got to have a hobby, a point of interest, and if you're interested in squirrels, that's fantastic. I love nature.
But the thing is, it took me about 2 years till the squirrels started coming up to me.
Yeah, now you're the Snow White.
It took me a lot to be patient, but it worked.
I heard you talking about all the animals that were coming up. I'm imagining you as Snow White in a forest.
Actually, yeah, a few people have called me Snow White. I'm like, I guess I am.
That's it. That's your next stage show. Sabrina Fallah as Snow White.
Snow White.
There she is. Oh my goodness, with all the jungle friends. Okay, I know I'm having fun with you, and oh my goodness, and I know we veered off music, but that's what I like.
No,
I like to hear.
It's fine.
I like to hear about.
It's good. It's good to go back and forth about things. Yeah.
I like to hear about what people think about certain kinds of things. And all right, I guess as we're coming into what's going on now in the world, you were gigging nightly, like what, 4 or 5 nights a week, from what it sounded like when you were doing your job?
I was performing as much as I could.
Wow, what kind of shows?
Anywhere I could.
What kind of shows? Was it just you and the guitar, or with the band?
Me and my guitar only, or with a second guitarist. Open mics, charities, bars, festival, anywhere there's a mic, I was going to.
Sabrina's got to be on stage, and you can't take her off stage. No, I don't care if it's a festival back in 2014. No,
you have to drag me off like I was.
it apparently so. And I like I said, I blame the stage manager for that one. He should have had more control. I've been a stage manager myself, and I know I have to get the bands off, or I remember one festival I did on a 4th of July, and I had my brother as the comedian, and he had to get on stage while the different bands were setting up their stuff, and he would stall, and we would banter back and forth. I was announcing, and he was doing the comedy, and we'd be talking back and forth as the roadies were setting up the bands behind. But yeah, you going long meant that next band couldn't set up their equipment. So I get it. You got to work well with others, and you do. I'm sure you work fine with others. Now, have you always worked as a solo, a duo, or have you had full bands?
Solo.
Always a solo. And your grandmother was so smart, or your mom's friend was so smart, saying you can't carry a piano up on stage. Here's a guitar. So smart.
That guitar has helped me a lot.
Yes, you can busk with that. You can go off on a street corner with a hat and play music.
I did busking back in the day.
That's something you can do.
I didn't know by busking you make quite a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, and people say the people on the corners. There's a big homeless problem here in Conway, Arkansas, and I'm sure all over the world people that don't have
everywhere.
homes.
Yeah.
But I wonder how much they make on those corners, and if they had a guitar, they could make a whole lot more. At least you're providing some entertainment. Something.
I made about $50.
On a day.
Yeah.
That's not bad for a kid.
But I moved around in the area.
Yeah.
Because they let me move around, and yeah.
See, $50 a day means that you're going to be able to eat.
And on top of that, they bought my album.
See,
that I had next to me too. So they tipped me, or they just bought the album instead of tipping. Honestly, it didn't matter. I just wanted to get the exposure, even if they didn't pay me. At that point, I wasn't trying. I didn't care about the money. Now it's like, okay, I need to live. I would like something, but the way to succeed in this business is doing it for the love. And when it's time to make the money, it will come to you.
That is words of wisdom.
You can't go into this business thinking you're going to make money. It doesn't start like that.
No, but you said that you're signed. Before you were signed, and how long ago were you signed? Before you were signed, this was when you were doing the busking, but you said you had an album as well. Did you make an album on your own before you were signed?
Yeah.
How many albums did you make, and how many songs were on that album?
I have right now, before I was signed, I had 2 EPs and 1 single. When I got signed, I put all the songs together with a new song called Everything as a compilation.
So who helped you put those records together before? And was it all by yourself, or you had to have had some help?
My first EP with Stuart Epps in England, worked with Twisted Sister, Oasis, Led Zeppelin.
And that's in Canada, in Ottawa?
No, England.
Oh, you went to England.
I went to England.
See, we missed the whole part of the story.
I went to England. I had my fish and chips, and I was jet lagged. Yeah.
Was it just?
I had fish and chips every night because I had to.
Was that the reason to go to England? Was that it was specifically to put that album together?
I know. I just got the opportunity to go to England to work with Stuart Epps.
Wow. How amazing is that?
That opened a lot of doors for me after working for him. I mean, working with him, not working for him, working with him.
No, I believe that. I believe that to be true. I mean, did you do some shows in England as well?
No,
Okay. So
no,
that
I
was to
was
put
jet
the album
lagged.
together.
I was
And
jet lagged.
okay, put the album together. And how long did that take to
I,
put it together?
well, I was there for a week. So I
Okay.
got there the next day. I did the recording live off the floor. So I sang live with the band as we recorded.
Wow.
So when you hear that album, it's like that's how I would sound live.
So how did they get all the tracks? Did they record? Did you sit in separate boxes, or was it all in one room?
We just sat in the same room next to each other, and we sang. It was a very secure room, so there were no sounds coming in and out. I don't know how they did it. All I know is they said, sing it and play it and go, and we'll lay it down. I'm like, okay.
That is some old school recording right there. That's stuff that the Beatles and Led Zeppelin and those people back in the 60s, before.
It sounds so much better like that. And with all of my songs I have done and all of my albums, they all have been with the band, and it's not track. Like, I don't like to sing line by line. I like singing it all the way through.
Yeah.
And then they take the best take, or they keep it as is. Most of the time they keep it as is, because you don't want to change too much, and then people can tell, why is this going off here? And you want to, most of the time I just say, just keep it, leave it, let it be raw, let it be the way I would sound raw. Don't polish me too much. And then I told them, don't you put autotune in my songs.
But they all do, don't they? Don't they have to? Isn't that part of the gig?
I tell them not to. If they do it, they put it so little I don't even hear it.
Yes, I figure by now every song's got auto-tune of
They
some
have
kind.
told me it's the rule in the industry, but
Yeah.
I say, if you put it, can you make sure I don't hear it? They say, okay.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't hear it,
No, and
because they put a touch, and I'm very strict. I said, I don't want to sound robotic.
right.
Okay?
You want to sound live on stage. You're making it raw. That is
I'm
an
a
interesting
rock singer. I don't even think Bon Jovi or Green Day uses autotune, or if they do, it's very little.
Yeah, I don't know for sure. But
Well, I don't hear it. I don't hear it.
Making a record like that must have been amazing. That is so old school. You just don't hear about that. You hear about people sing a line, they put it down, they sing a line, they make sure that all the drums are straight. You could put them in your Pro Tools or in your Adobe Audition and make sure that everything is in time. Yeah.
I didn't know I was going to do it that way. Stuart's like, we're doing it live. I'm like, sick.
Yeah.
Do it with the band. Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, how and the band was a band from England that just like hired guns?
What he did was he took different band members from different rock bands, and my drummer on my first album was a metal drummer. He was in this hard metal band. That's why it sounds like. I told him, rock it. He's like, it's not going to be like a metal drum sound, but it's going to be heavy. I'm like, you know what? Just hit it.
Hard hits. Yeah. And then
But yeah, I had some good players on it. Yeah.
oh, wow, what an experience. And so okay, then you come back from England after that week, again jet lagged because you're heading the other way now. And you have this album, and who's pressing the album, or is this something that you put on your own computer? I remember when I was making CDs myself, I
I
guess.
got it packaged. My mom found the graphic designer, and we took the picture and we packaged it. But I went out and I promoted it myself and sold my record. I did it the way you would do it, but now it's different. Now everything is on the net. In 2012, I was still selling the records. I don't even know if the internet was as popular as it is now.
Oh,
Because
CD
back
Baby
in the
was
day,
huge.
I was always going out and giving people the record.
Now,
So-
next time you do one of these interviews that are video interviews, Instead of having Green Day back there, you better have like a little picture of your album back there as well. Just do a little self promotion. I know.
Yeah, I should, eh?
Okay, so the next album that was in 2000, what, 8, 9,
2012.
2012. Okay, and you have this in your pocket. That's got to make you feel good, and people are responding to it.
It
People
was my first album I ever released, and it opened a lot of doors
yes.
for me.
What kind of doors did it open? And do people want you
I
more?
started sending it to online radio stations and college radio.
Yes.
I didn't get to mainstream till this year.
Yes.
Because I had a lot to build to get to the mainstream. You can't just make a record and send it to a big station. You need a lot of things behind you to prove to them that you've worked. It's hard to explain. I just don't think I would have gotten my song on the big airwaves back then. I think it would have been harder.
You're teaching people that you have to put in your dues. But if I'd have known you when I was on radio in Miami, down in Florida, and you handed me your record and I took a listen, I'd have put it right out on the radio waves. No problem.
Thank you.
In Miami, no problem. And as it is, I have Radio What sitting there behind me. That's my .com radio station. So I'm happy to play your song as well.
Yeah.
So, but 2012, you got this record, and you're gigging every night, wherever there's a microphone.
A lot.
And people are paying you. People are not paying you.
I was promoting that album like crazy.
But you're making a living. You're able to keep a roof over your head. Food in your belly.
I made money.
Yes, that's excellent.
But I also had a supportive parents.
Go mom and dad. Good job. And then brothers and sisters, anybody else?
Only me.
Oh, see, they put everything into you.
And just because I'm an only child does not mean I get everything that I want.
You're
I
spoiled,
still want
rotten.
a dog, and I still want a cat, and I haven't gotten it yet.
You're spoiled, rotten brat. No, I love it. No,
but they say you have cats coming in the yard, bunnies, raccoons, squirrels. And chipmunks. You have. Oh yeah, I have a little Alvin, a chipmunk that climbs on me and eats from my hand. And
you are Snow White.
I actually found Alvin as a baby in my yard, and I picked him up because I'm like, where is your mother? And since that day, it followed me around. It connected. If you pick up an animal, they get used to you. They start following you. So cute.
Yeah, it might not be. It might not be good for that
all
animal.
The time wants to eat the chipmunk. I know. I watch the cat when the cat comes. I'm like, you're not taking my Chippy. No, you're not.
Chippy. That's the name.
Well,
so far I got gray squirrel. Chippy. I got Blackie, Chippy. Okay, I got it.
I have a red squirrel, very feisty, very fast. I call him Fluffy. I don't know why, but he looks like a Fluffy. He has like a fluffy tail.
That sounds good to me.
So I call the squirrel Brownie because he had a little bit of a brown tail. I'm like, ooh, you're Brownie, huh? One had an orange tail. I called him Crunchy. I can eat all of them.
Why not? They sound delicious. You're going to make a sundae out of these squirrels eventually. My goodness. All right, Sabrina. All right. So you got the first record. When did the second record come about? And man, you're just writing songs.
The second, I was working on my second record, but then I just released the Frontline that became the single in 2015.
Wow. Amazing. So, and you're singing your own original songs whenever you do these open mics, or are you singing some covers at all?
I sing both, original and cover, because the people don't know my songs 100%. So,
well, that's just it.
But I'm sure now they do. Hopefully.
So, what's your go-to cover songs when you start off the show and you're trying to get people to come in and hey, you know this one. Hey, do you mind if I do my original song?
I sang Avril Lavigne's "Nobody's Home" a lot, and everybody would sing along. So because that was her hit, and everybody knew that song. So I try to sing songs that I like, and also songs that people can relate and can that know the song. I also sang Summer of '69 by
Brian Adams.
Brian Adams, or Good Riddance by Green Day, or In These Arms by Bon Jovi.
But you sing them in your own
songs.
style. You put your own little twist on them.
I put my own twist on it. I don't sing it exactly like the artist. I make it my own because they already have the artist.
Always acoustic guitar or electric guitar?
Always acoustic. If I have a band, I like to play electric.
Oh, okay. So how many guitars do you have?
2 electrics and 1 acoustic.
What kind are they?
Gibson, Fender, and Yamaha. So the Gibson and the Fender are the electrics, and the Yamaha is the guitar. And it's my baby blue guitar. Yeah.
Fantastic. Is that the same guitar that you got originally?
When I was 15, yeah.
It's been with you that whole time. Are there any?
It's been in one piece, yeah.
No nicks?
I take care of my instruments.
Nicks, stickers, any cuts? Has it been
on
dropped?
My electric guitar, not on my acoustic.
Wow. Amazing. And she takes care of her stuff, people. She takes care of her stuff.
And I take care of myself too.
Sentimental, and that's great. How do you take care of yourself? What's your regiment to keep yourself in shape?
Keeping myself positive and happy. And the first thing I do in the morning when I get up is I go feed my squirrels. And when I see them, it makes me happy. Because they chirp all the time, and I'm like chirping back at them, and they're chirping at me, and I'm laughing, and it's amazing how close they come, and they're not afraid. They just want the food. I've had them come after me when I have no food because they know I'm the one that feeds them. It's so cute. I'm like, I don't have food, little one, but I'm going to go get it.
Watch out. They might bite the hand that feeds them. Uh-oh.
No. Actually, the chipmunk bit me a few times, but not the squirrel. Actually, it doesn't hurt as much as you think. It's just they miss the peanut. I'm giving them the peanut. And what happened with the chipmunk, because I was giving them the peanut, the chipmunk used his little fingers and knocked the peanut out of my hand by accident and bit my finger. And I literally went, get off of me.
Chipmunk bit my finger.
That one hurt because he literally really bit it. But I actually caught it on video.
Yeah, you call that one Charlie. Charlie bit my finger. Oh. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, as we're breaking out of quarantine and as I'm winding down this podcast, are you able to play out at all? You said you've been doing some online shows. Were you playing?
I'm doing online, and my label told me even if there are places open for performances, don't go, please.
Yeah.
Stay safe, at least till next year, till things are much better. They want me to be safe right now. They're even afraid of me going out. They don't want their artists to get sick. Everybody's scared for everybody right now.
Yeah, we stay vigilant. Yeah.
But he said, stay safe, because when things start to open, you don't want to be sick.
Absolutely.
And I do go out, but I'm glad I've been invited to do some of these virtual concerts because it's fun.
Yeah, the few places that I've gone are very big, holds 300 people, and they'll keep it at 60. They'll very small. And I know that they're doing drive-ins now and backyard parties. So I feel pretty comfortable with those. But the ones that are indoors where you're all tight, maybe not.
It's iffy. Yeah. You have to be careful.
Yeah, stay vigilant. All right. So as we're breaking out, once this all is over, and it will pass, people, it will pass. What's on the horizon for Sabrina Fallah?
I am writing new music. Can't get into the studio till most likely next year, and I have a lot of ideas, so I haven't figured out the theme exactly. But I normally go with whatever I write I write and I go with that. I don't normally plan everything. I just let it come out because it's, I feel like when things come naturally, it's better than, but if I am in a songwriting session with someone and then I have to get songs written, that's different.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing it myself, I'm going to let it come more naturally.
Well, I mean, so how do people find out about you? You have a perfect name, Sabrina Fallah. It's very unusual. It's very unique.
And it's my actual name.
Yeah.
Some people ask me if I made it for my business. No, I was born with this name. So,
and it's perfect because if you Google it,
I didn't have to change it. My label said, "We like your name. We're going to keep it."
Yeah.
You know,
it sounds like a song. Yeah, and if you Google it, you're going to find
some people say Sabrina Fallah, la 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 la.
I was waiting for that. I didn't want to do it. I'm glad you did it. Oh my!
People make my last name a song.
It is a song
all the time.
No, that's fantastic. And if you look up Sabrina Fallah, you're going to find it everywhere. All your links are out there. But what are the main?
Yeah, just like my website is sabrinafallah.com, FALLAH. But if you just Google, all my social media outlets are there, and I'm on everything.
I'll make sure I put it in the show notes. Well, I mean, if there's no other avenues that you want to explore, we could finish this thing off. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I usually finish these things off with last words for the people. This could be words to live by, words of advice that you heard way back when, or just words that pop into your head at this moment in time. Sabrina Fallah, last words for the people.
When you want to do something in life, just do it. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do it, or maybe you can do it, or if it's impossible, because impossible means it's possible. So it's going to be hard. You're going to fall. You're going to have to hit the walls and stuff, but you can succeed. You just have to go for that goal and make it happen and never give up.
Well, there you have it, party people. Sabrina Fallah. I think I must have pronounced it about 12 different ways during this podcast. I mean, it's either Fallah or Fallah. Just which emphasis on which syllable. So, yeah, but I liked it at the end when she sang her own name. Some people say Sabrina Fallah, la 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 la. That's fantastic. I know I was thinking it, and you were probably thinking it too. But if it's a way that you can remember her name, do it. Fine. Sing it. And make sure that you follow her on social media and find her website. It's all in the show notes. But if you're not looking at the show notes right now, you can look up her name, Sabrina, common spelling, Fallah. Look it up. Google it. Do it. Find out more about this lovely lady who's singing songs, getting inspired in all kinds of different ways. Yeah. Squirrels. Oh my goodness. She said, I feed squirrels. I just had to laugh. All right. That's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous. If you would like to tell your story, yes, I'm talking to you, the listener, my loyal viewer. If you would like to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call at 501-470-6386 or email info@radiowhat.com. That's it for me. It's Keys Dan, radiowhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.